All right, fresh cut. Um, gel my hair one of these days, like I used to when I was in high school. But I look too much like a gangster, which is kind of what I'm going for. So, hello, besties. It's Friday. It's the first. It's not probably gonna post on the 9th. It's the first full week of 2026. It's the weekend, and um, this has been a very interesting week for me professionally. Because I've just had like a very rapid shift from one position to another position, even though I knew it was coming. Um, it's not like an upgrade; it's more like a side grade because I'm going to be in a different position for the next couple months. Still can't talk about exactly what it is, but if you meet me in person, I will gladly vent about it. And eventually, when I'm out of where I am, I can talk about it. But I'm having a good time. Like my leadership, they're good. Um, So I want to talk about me. I want to talk about a couple things. First of all, Box Down Isekai book 4 came out. If you haven't, it's probably one of my favorite series. That one, when Box Down Isekai by Miles English, if that drops, I will listen to it first day. All the Skills by Honore, I listen to it first day. Actus's series, I will listen to that first day. Um, I know I'm gonna like Nightmare Summoner. The second book just came out, but the Runebound Professor, I love it. And I will listen to that the first day it comes out, even though it's like 24 hours long. I will listen to as much as I can. But is it? I wanted to speak about Box Down Isekai, and it's one of the books that I reference people to read when you're just like, hey, I just want to know how like to do this like just kind of really well, and that is the story, because like yeah, he's isekai, but it's just really well done, and like the jokes are like coming at you fast. And I want to say like I'm in book 4, um, which spoilers, the main character makes it to book 4. Right. There's a part in which he like breaks down like what a dad joke is because he's in this other world to somebody. It's like kind of like his he's a knight. It's called benighted. He becomes a knight. Big whoop. Um, and like this guy who's in charge of the knight order, he's like, so you don't seem to have a sense of humor. And the guy's like, oh, I do have a sense of humor. I just don't find a lot of things funny. And he goes down and he talks about like physical comedy, slapstick, roasting, and basically the only thing the guy thinks is funny is dad jokes. And he's like, "What do you call a fish with a tie? Sophisticated." And the guy's facade finally cracks. Like he's a really good. He's basically a paladin knight, and the guy's facade cracks, and I'm like, this is perfect. This perfectly tells you what this person is. He's very serious, and he does not want to punch down. So, just to like do a little sidebar here, because you're listening to me. All right. So in comedy, there's a concept of punching down and punching up and punching down. If you're going to make a joke about somebody, you want to punch up to somebody who is basically of a higher, like richer or higher social status. But you don't want to punch down. Like I don't want to punch down new authors. I can roast them for their decisions if I'm friendly with them. Like one guy who decided he was going to I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to roast anybody right now. I love you guys. But like basically like punching down, that's really frowned upon. Like you don't talk badly about people that can't defend themselves or they basically they don't have a voice. Not punching up, like making fun of like political figures or kings or queens or whatever. That's probably like more dangerous for a character. But like everyone likes a good dad joke. And I think that one of the good things about like specifically Dropout in their culture is that they don't like do comedy based off of real life people. They do scenarios, and I think that there's a lot of scenarios There's a lot of like repetitive jokes. Like there's a joke about the main character's familiar eating cats, and it being a thing that he's like, you need to not eat the cats on this ship because it will piss off the um, the captain, and I don't want to have to talk to somebody about how you've eaten their cats. And I think that is hilarious because later on there's like they do these callbacks. So like one of the things in comedy, so if you're writing comedy, like doing a running gag, we do a callback like a cat yowled, and the character's like, what? Why is the cat yowling? And he's like, Marksy, what are you doing? Don't eat the cat. And the poor like little dragon guy is like, come on, I just want to eat a little cat. That's hilarious to me. Um, don't actually hurt people. Don't actually hurt cats. Um, if you're gonna hurt somebody, hurt them by like sprinting with them, sprinting better than them, and whatever. Uh, I've hit 2,000 words 6 out of 7 days this week, which is like I need to cut down on posting. I know I need to do it. And I need to start doing the interviews that I promised you I would do. This is me promising you I'm going to be bringing more interviews to you guys. But Boxing on Isekai, book 4, I suggest it. My book will be out very, very soon. Audio, you guys can listen to it. I want to talk to you about 2 things. The 2 things are counterfactuals and opportunity cost, and how this relates to being an artist, maybe a writer, but like an artist or creative at large. So I keep doing this thing where I try to create a counterfactual for somebody based off of if you had done this, right? So counterfactual is a what if scenario exploring a hypothetical situation contrary to actual facts. Like what if the Nazis won World War II? Okay, then what would they do next? What if Japan won World War II? All these things, like, okay, so the fact is this, but what if it happened this other way? So think about the cause and effect of like the knock-on effects of what would happen. Because the United States is huge and it would take forever to invade us. Right. And there was like there was like 100 U.S. divisions, so like so many millions of it's like 10 million men mobilized to go to Europe. So like, what would they have had to do, right? All these things. So you have to think about what actually happened, and like, what is the imagined alternative? What is the thing that you imagine would have happened had it not happened that way? So it's good to think about a counterfactual in that term of like, if this main character did it this way, what would this character have done in this scenario, right? Like play it out in your mind. Like, okay, counterfactuals are great for establishing character, right? Because you're literally writing the story as you do it. You can just go back and say, all right, this. So something that Joe Abercrombie does really well is like he really shows you like in each scene like how it's only this one specific character that is in this one specific scenario that does the thing exactly the way that they do it, right? So your character should be doing the things in their specific way, right? They should be ranting about their specific rants, right? And like counterfactuals can also be like, hey, I don't know what it would have been like if I had launched my book with a newsletter and then prepared, but now I'm prepared because I know back then I didn't do it correctly, and now my newsletter's up. You can see it there. Sign up for it. Get messages when I feel like talking and when I release something. So that's counterfactuals. So like it's a what if scenario. So we always do what ifs in our head, just like use that for your creative arts. Like, what if I spend some time drawing, right? Like I'm gonna spend half an hour, 15 minutes, half an hour a day drawing. And some people are like, I want to do like a binge writing session. I'm just like, I would prefer you to write 30 minutes a day or draw or play guitar 30 minutes a day instead of 3 hours in one day, especially for guitar because your calluses are going to hurt. They're not going to develop correctly. And I know that because I played guitar for over a decade. All right, so let's talk about, so that's counterfactuals. Let's talk about opportunity cost. All right, so the best alternative you give up, right? So let's say you're driving home and you're hungry and you want to get some fast food and you see the Wendy's and you see that there's nobody in line, that's not much of a cost, right? Okay, great. Um, what if there's 20 people in line? Then you have to wait for all of them to get their orders placed and for the staff to cook the stuff up, right? It's the trade off, right, between like the opportunity to wait for the thing you specifically want versus the time you could spend doing something else, right? This is kind of what I think about doom scrolling. Like, sure, it might be fun to turn your brain off and just go do that, but or you could just get that slow dopamine of the creative process, work your way through it. This is the cost of a decision. Is like we don't really have time, we spend it, and I know that's like what, like you think that you have all this time, but you don't really. You don't. The time that is ahead of you, that's like ephemeral. It doesn't really exist. Like you spend time as it comes to you. You don't really have it. So like, don't count on time being there. Enjoy the time you have now. And so I'm just like, I'm trying to do less screens, less devices, and be more present because I'm realizing that like I don't want to be the guy that people remember because he always had his head in his phone or whatever. I want to be the guy that people remember because of some wacky shit I did, that is wholesome but also hilarious. Which brings me back to punching down and punching up. No, I think I'm good. Dad jokes. What do you call a fish with a suit? Sophisticated. I almost died as a dad. Um, so like think about like this, like this is why people wake up and go to the gym in the morning. It's because like I could go to the gym at 5 a.m. I could go to the gym at noon. Or I could go to the gym after work, right? Me personally, I have the most energy in the morning, right? I always go to the gym at 5 a.m. if I have the chance. However, now I have like responsibilities at 6 a.m. I gotta get the kids ready, right? So if I want to be done with the gym, I have to be done by like 5:45. And like for me, the gym right now is like rocking or running, or it'd be great to go rowing. Um, but if I don't do that, then I'm gonna be off, right? So right now, my I work out at noon, lunch. So like, if I don't do that, I kind of feel do that 5 days a week. And then on the weekends, I just run around with the kids. So like, the cost of not doing the thing, there's a cost. And if you put the thing off that you wanted to do, you're not gonna get a chance to do it. Like, I would love to be done writing before 9 a.m., but I keep having to write after 8 p.m. when the kids are in bed, which means that I just gotta keep doing my sprints. So think about the cost of what you're giving up, right? This is why I want a slower commute or a remote job, right? This is why you always want those things where you don't have to, you're not spending 2 hours a day driving, you're not spending all this time. And I realize that like not everyone has this choice, but like whenever possible, make these choices to give you more of your time back, right? And that's why I dictate all my stuff and then I edit it later. I got it back, so I got it working so that I dictate my book, then I edit it, and then I send it out, right? Because it's faster that way. It takes me, I can do 700 words to 1,000 words within 15 minutes, and then I just take 5 minutes to edit that, and it's good, right? And that I do that 3 times a day, and I've got my 2,000 words a day, right? You shouldn't like unless you like absolutely love writing. You should not be writing like that more than 2 hours a day. You don't need to write more than 2,000 words a day. Sean, who writes 6,000 words a day, I'm just like, okay, I could not keep up with that. I can barely keep up with the editing for the stuff I'm doing now. I'm writing 2,000 words a day, and like somebody like Seth Ring who writes 12,000 words a day, when he's in the zone, I'm just like, I would have to not have a job, right? I would have to be guaranteed like that my when my next book drops that like I would make enough to sustain me and my family, right? So I'm not there yet. But like, I want you to think about that. The cost of not, the opportunity cost of not following your dreams is that they're not going to be realized, or you're going to delay them. The time's going to pass anyway. You're going to get older, right? You're going to get wiser, maybe. Um, but like, you don't really have time in the sense you can just spend it. And got a little philosophical there. But that's how I really feel. Um, so like and subscribe if you want to have an existential crisis about what time is again, because I will gladly do that one again. Until then, keep writing. Happy 2026. Let's make this a precedented year. I would love to have a precedented year. Um, Bob Ross is right there. There we go. Thanks, besties.